There are certain titles, certain nom de plumes, pen names, sobriquets that people have. For example, Spacek is known as Carrie. Jamie Lee Curtis is known as the Scream Queen, and even Barbara Steele is also known as the original Scream Queen, who got her career in Italy when she was in Black Sunday, amongst other movies. But what about the first Lady of the Scream? Broken Blossoms. Very specifically, what's her name here? You may be wondering. D.W. Griffith reached a pinnacle of expressiveness in this tender yet tragic tale of love and suffering in the seedy Limehouse district of London. Richard Barthelmess gives a sensitive portrayal of a Chinese man who travels to England to spread the pacifist teachings of the Orient. But it is Lillian Gish who illuminates the screen. In this, the most heart-rending performance of her career, she plays a 15-year-old street urchin who longs to escape her miserable existence. Emotionally scarred by the torment and neglect of her abusive father, played by Donald Cresp, she collapses in the shop of the lonely and disillusioned Yellow Man, in quotes. He tenderly nurtures her back to health, and unspoken romance flowers between them, awakening in each of them feelings of love they thought themselves forever denied. In some ways, Broken blossoms with Griffith's responses to the critics of The Birth of a Nation, an effort to clear his name of lingering charges of racism. However, cinematic convention forbade physical intimacy between the two races. With this in mind, Griffith took what might have been a bold interracial romance and transformed it into something more ethereal, a form of cinematic poetry that engages the viewer through minute gestures and changes of expression, meticulously choreographed and gracefully assembled. From Kino Lorber. This one is 91, roughly 89 minutes long, and it feels like a whole, complete movie. This was during the unfortunate Yellow Peril that was going on during that time, and this was originally written as a poem in which the man would visit, which the protagonist would visit opium dens and everything. So Griffith, who made Birth of a Nation, he said, okay, I'm going to try and change how I view things, and made it so that he instead just goes through the kind of poor sections of London. And the guy who portrays him does a gosh darn good job of portraying a sensitive, pacifist man who just wants to live a peaceful life and try and spread the teachings of one sect of Buddhism, And just the fact alone that he wears, that, it's like, let's just portray him being a gentle person. Let's just have him go around and not resort to violence unless absolutely necessary, which comes in play at the end. So it's like, he plays the humble man who still has a shop just selling goods and stuff like that, but at the same time he's noticing this kind of, I wouldn't say waif, I guess is the word, that is indeed played by Lillian, and it's done to such a beautiful degree. It's just like, it really is a true romantic movie, I have to say that. Yeah, this woman was just in the sense of not, it's like, fortunately with the Yellow, this actor does kinda play, this is 1919, keep that in mind. There weren't as many, I don't even think there were any famous Chinese actors that are known here in America, so it unfortunately kind of does have to don a mask, but it's not done like John Wayne portraying the Chinese emperor. That's just whitewashing, that's fine. This is just more done like, kind of certain things had to be handled, but I guess it was handled the most, how do I say it, delicate way possible for then, I was like, yeah, it's there, but at the same time, it's like, compared to other stuff that was happening, this is like, not that bad. So just keep that in mind, alright? And of course, the father, who's a boxer, does actually do some damage to his daughter, and it's just repulsive, even though, it's like, it's all just choreographed just for the sake of the movie. So it's like, this guy, he's just not a schmuck or a super schmuck. He is the definitive ultra edition of a schmuck. And he does get his just desserts at the end, which is really nice. But it's poetic in the sense of just how things play out. It's a nice even, it's a nice non-Pearl Jam even flow. Just showing the dinginess of the poor sections of London, if you will, in the more brighter section, the more brighter like shop that the man has. So it's like just the level of detail, like all the shots, the compositions, just gives this movie just the sense of like just how, like, in the themes of just like the injustices against the innocent and those who are just trying to live their lives, but ultimately just when they're people who are involved in their lives. And it's just it's a little hard to sit through, but at the same time you're so enticed because this man right here was the man who's trying to, I guess, show filmmaking can be done in a different way, taking examples from like filmmakers across the country, including a guy named Pabst who didn't influence the beer brand. But just in the sense of trying to create a poetic, poetic movie of just the emotions, the drama, and even people who box it really, instead of just like kidding it out, it's like just how fast the punching goes. I'm like, boy, they must have really punched. They must have really walked really fast, like not just, you know, like how I would move. They were running almost everything. Things must have been a lot different back then. It's just the speed of the camera. I'm just being funny. But yeah, ultimately it just, there's also the scene with the axe going through the closet that influenced what was that? The Phantom Carriage, and then The Shining. This is the movie where it came from, where the ultra deluxe schmuck is trying to get to his daughter because he's like, how dare you be in a relationship with a Chinese person? This guy was very, what's the word? Jingoistic, I guess. Jingoistic. Jingo. It's like, I don't like anyone who is not born in my great country in the UK. And it just, funny how stuff like that manages to continuously cycle even 106 years later. So yeah. So this is truly a fantastic, phenomenal movie. It's black and white, but at the same time, it still holds up really gosh darn well. It's silent, and the performance that what was her name gives, Lillian Gish, who lived for almost 100 years, gives. In fact, during the closet scene, supposedly she screams so loudly just to enhance the realism that someone outside the movie studio her was going to try and break up the dispute. He's like, no, we're filming for a movie, don't come in. You got to be restrained. So just to add to that, it's like, geez, oh Pete. So yeah, if you can find this is a 2002 Kino video release, and I think maybe 3 libraries had this, which is just, people need to really see D.W. Griffith's Broken Blossom. Please see this one.